this made smoother than your smoothest criminal. Shamo, about that money, what we get into. Shamo, about that money, get residuals. Shamo.
Yeah, kid, you know what it is. It's your boy POPAVIST. We live, POPAVIST TV. We out here in Harlem with my guy, Jeff Williams, aka got the joint, Jay Lorenzo, some of y'all might know. If you're familiar with the channel, come on in, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're not familiar, let's get familiar now. My boy Jay, what up, my nigga?
What's good, Pop?
I ain't see you in, a little minute. Last time we was hanging out.
Yeah.
We was hanging out at the video, my man Mac Main and Vado. It's not even on the gram though. Okay. All right, so now it's making sense and all that.
Yeah.
It's making sense and all that right now.
I don't want you to...
Hold on.
Dirty, right?
No, it's not. No, it's clean.
Spin the box and all that. I was going to spin the box on these niggas.
Yeah, spin the box on
Ooh-wee. All right. Now, the Laker colors is fire, though. This is my first time seeing them, y'all. You know what it is. POPAVIST TV. See Lorenzo's and all that sitting on the benzos. And I got put onto the joints. Actually, the joints he rocking, y'all, is the joints that I want. Those is his shoes, but we're going to get into that in a minute. Well, what really prompted this interview right here, I told y'all, we hip-hop, we sports, motivation, and interviews, and this is going to be one of them, is when I seen you last time and you showed me that you had the sneakers, then you came with the book, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so y'all can see the book right there. What's the name of the book, brother?
My feet are off the ground.
My feet is off the ground. All right, so for people that don't know, and I'm going to keep it, on this channel is full transparency. I just got put up on, even though I knew you for a little minute, got introduced by my uncle. I didn't know how you became disabled and your situation. And when I watched the interview, even though you could give a brief synopsis of it now for the people on my platform that don't know, I was truly amazed to see. I mean, you see people that's dealing with disability all the time, and you really wonder how and the mental state is, how they live their daily life, what motivates them to continue to do it. And just watching a little brief interview that you did with I forget her name. What's the lady's name?
That was Mindy.
Mindy.
On the Gammon Network.
I was blown away. So tell the people a little bit about how you became like this. And I really wanted on this channel. I really want to know, or want you to tell the people what was the motivation factor to not let this hinder you or stop you from being great.
When I was 13 years old, I was accidentally shot by one of my friends playing with a gun. And what motivated me to keep going when faced with a tragedy, it's like I wake up in the morning and my life is normal, and then 10 minutes later my whole life is upside down.
It's different.
And a lot of people say, what motivates you? How do you go on? A lot of times in life you have choices. When you're faced with a tragedy, all of a sudden, instantly like that, you only have one choice. You're either gonna give up or lay down and let it defeat you. And one of the things while I was laying there fighting for my life, I was just begging God to let me live, because both of my lungs had collapsed and the bullet was lodged on my spine by my heart. Right. So I'm thinking, I'm 13 years old. I just started living. I ain't even barely reached puberty yet. And, for my life to end right here. So I just kind of begged God, God, please just give me a second chance. Right. So the fact that God gave me that second chance, I just felt it was my duty to fight for it and just be all I could be after that. And when my mother and my family and a lot of my close friends, they was real supportive throughout the situation. Right. I just felt like the fact that my mother stood by me, my family stood by me, and the people I loved in my life stood by me, I figured even if I wanted to give up, I owed it to them to keep going. And, so I decided, am I going to be in a wheelchair and get a check every month, or am I going to do something real productive with my life? So I decided at that moment, I didn't want that to become my life, that I'm sitting home collecting a check every month. I felt like my mind was still working. I still had a lot to offer, and I wanted to, take that chance and just run with it. And
so, is it proof? I'm gonna say proving people wrong. I talk about motivation a lot on this channel. What drives certain individuals? What drive these individuals? And even the people that are motivated, self-motivated, some go harder than others. Like Kobe is the mama mentality, and different individuals, and then some just barely make it. What you think? Are you a religious guy? Do you believe in?
I believe in God,
You
yes.
believe in God. All right, so I believe in God as well. Do you think that has helped you jump over the hurdle, so to speak, or what was in it, inside of you?
I think based off my religion, and me having faith in God, I just feel like no matter what you face with, no matter what your tragedy is or what you're going through, if you keep your faith and you stay focused, and one of the biggest things that I tell people all the time, it has a lot to do with your attitude and who you surround yourself with. I said, and the reason why I say that, some of the people that's closest to you, you honor their opinions and you respect how they feel about things. But if you have someone you respect telling you can't do this, you can't do that,
right,
you start believing it. So I think it's real important to surround yourself with people on that level of where you want to go and not where you are, because when you deal with people that's on different levels, they inspire you, they show you that it can happen, they show you that you can be all that you want to be. So I think it plays a major role in how you move, and I think most people fail or they stay on lower levels because of fear of failing. And one thing, even when writing this book, I hear a lot of people say, but Jeff, what if the book is not this way? What if it's not right? What if it's not this? But I said, if I do the book and I finish the book, I'm going to become an author.
Absolutely.
So whether the book is good or bad, now I'm an author.
Absolutely.
So now, based on the criticism and the feedback that I get from the book, then I can perfect the craft, and then the next book will entail all those things that I missed in the first book. So I think no matter what your dreams are, at least get started.
Right, at least get started.
Perfect your craft, and once you perfect your craft, then you got a finished product that's great.
All right, so before we jump into the book, I know, like I said, for those who are not familiar, y'all could go check the other interview after y'all look at this interview. So you was telling a lady that your mom's inspired you, a lot to be great. Outside of her, who are the other influences that kept you pushing along?
When I was in the hospital, when I first got shot, there was a little girl that was 7 years old. Her name was Melissa. And I remember laying in the hospital bed and I was crying, because I couldn't move my legs.
Right.
And the little girl looked at me and she was like, "Why you crying? When you think you have it bad, somebody else has it worse." And when she said that to me, it just resonated in my mind from that day forward. Like, I'm sitting here feeling sorry for myself, crying over my situation, but there's other people who have worse situations than I have.
That's true.
And if they can deal with what they're going through, I'm gonna try to deal with what I'm going through. And a couple of months later, I found out the little girl had brain cancer. She went in the operating room, and when she was in the operating room, I asked the nurse, because I noticed I didn't see her the next few days, I asked the nurse how she was doing, and the nurse told me that she passed away.
Wow.
And I remember the day she was going to get the operation, she came to see me, and she said, "Jeff, whatever you do, remember when you have it bad, somebody else has it worse." So after me watching her go through that at 7 years old, and her being as motivated as she was, and she only had a few months to live, it just gave me that drive and that motivation that, I just can't give up. I gotta keep pushing. And a lot of times, what I've learned through my disability is, it's not about me.
Right.
It's not about, Jeff, what can you do? What can't you do? It's about, Jeff, if you do something well, you paving the way for somebody else who's in that dark space that I once was in. So now, what I've done with my life is turn my wheelchair into like a trophy of all the challenges that I've been through.
All right, let that go down. So the gentleman that shot you by accident, that's his friend, y'all. Like I said, y'all not familiar with the interview, y'all getting familiar now. We'll catch you up on the details. Are y'all still cool?
The guy who shot me from the
This was an accident too, by the way, people. Name is kids.
Shot me from the day that I got shot. Me and him never stopped being friends. As soon as he shot me, I was losing air in my lungs, so I couldn't really breathe. And he decided at that moment to grab me, take me downstairs on the 5th floor walkout.
Right.
So we walking down the stairs. He's carrying me down the steps, and I was with my brother also at the time. So I'm looking at my brother, and my brother's watching all this unfold. So he's kind of emotional, like, wow,
Yeah, because he told y'all to chill. Right.
He's telling me to stop playing with the gun. So, I never held it against my friend, and like people always ask me, how can you forgive somebody who left you
doing that too,
paralyzed and
like
change
that,
your
right.
life like this? And the answer I always give somebody is this: if I would have shot him, I would have felt the same burden that it is with him being in a wheelchair, knowing that I was the one responsible for putting him in the chair. One of the main reasons why I forgave him, because I truly believe that in order to go on and move on in life, you have to uplift that burden off of you, and having that burden of, you know, hating somebody or feeling like all my focus is on why you shot me and why you did this to me. What I've decided is whatever happened to me has already happened, so I want to move on with my life.
Move on.
I couldn't move on without forgiving him, and I wanted him. He was 15, I was 13 at the time.
Yeah, I was kids.
So it just got to the point where I felt like no matter how sorry he was or how much, you know, I wanted to be mad at him, it wasn't going to change my situation. So I just asked him, like, listen, you young, you got a lot of your life ahead of you, and I want you to go on and move on with your life, and I want to go move on with my life. But we always stayed in touch. We still the best of friends. I mean, any family functions. I mean, what really embraced me the most was the fact that my mother treats him like one of her sons. And we all still family, me, him, and my brother. So it's like, even though he's the person that shot me, we so close and we maintain such a good friendship. Even if you saw me with him,
you wouldn't even know that that's the person that did it. All right, let's jump into the book. The name of it is My Feet Are Off the Ground, which is obviously a dope title. Explain what you know, what inspired you to write the book, and what you want people, if nothing else, to get out of the book after they finish reading it.
The first thing I want to explain is the title of the book. The reason why I chose My Feet Are Off the Ground is because I fly planes, I ride motorcycles, and I do a lot of things.
You said hold on. You said you fly planes and you ride motorcycles?
Yes.
All right, let's go to the plane thing first.
So if you go to one of my channels on BronxNet TV, you can actually see me flying a plane out in New Jersey. And the reason why I decided to fly the plane is because there's so many stereotypes about people with disabilities, what they can do. So I'm not so much trying to prove people wrong. I'm just trying to bring awareness and let them understand I'm still human, I'm still a person.
No question.
I want to do the same things everybody else is doing. A lot of my friends, they ride four-wheelers, so I decided to buy me a four-wheeler. I got the Polaris fully automatic, so all my devices
is on right on hand.
All my vehicles is like hand-controlled devices for the braking and gas for my car.
That's super dope.
So I like cars, I like planes, I got boats. I done did it all. Everything they said I couldn't do, I already did.
Now, you had to take flight lessons.
What happened was, which was crazy, I went through Mount Sinai, and they had this program where they would take people with disabilities, and they had adaptive planes that had hand controls that control the wings of the plane. So it's like a shifter in it. So when you lean the shifter, it leans.
Okay.
We got there that morning. They showed me how the plane operate, and then they had somebody in the back of the plane in case something went wrong.
Right.
He was sitting in the back of the plane, and when we got up about 3,000 feet, he just let the plane go. He said, "John, you ready?" And because I like challenges and I like the beat challenge, I decided I'm gonna go up. He said, "You ready?" I said, "I'm ready." I got in the plane, I hit 3,000 feet and just kept it going.
Wow, 3,000 feet. So this experience right here is in the book?
Yes, definitely.
All right. So what inspires you to write the book is the proof?
Picture on the back of the plane. If you zoom in,
zoom in, yeah.
Right there.
Y'all see the plane?
It's
Definitely.
called Freedom Wings.
Wow. How many hours it take to be certified? I mean, I don't think I will. I mean, that's a hell of that's definitely a bucket list. But obviously, you already.
I don't have the license, but I fly the plane.
But you can fly the plane.
But I do have a friend who she's the first person disabled who actually has a pilot license. And
y'all hear that? POPAVIST TV, we live.
And she fly planes on a regular basis.
Wow. Oftentimes, like as I said on this channel, oftentimes, y'all know what it is. It's full transparency. We out here live. It's POPAVIST TV. We on my block, 42nd Harlem. You know what it is. So you may see some things. You may hear people come over and say what's up, but we're gonna keep it going. So oftentimes, like I said on this channel, full transparency, I started writing a book a few times. How long did it take you to write your book, and when did you know, like, you know what, I'm gonna just write a book and tell people how it really is?
I started officially writing a book maybe a year ago.
Oh, so quick! That's actually quick.
And then when the pandemic came back in March,
right?
You know, I'm not used to really sitting still. I'm always working on something new, something different. I like to challenge my mind, stay productive. So when we got basically couldn't move on during the pandemic.
Yeah, pandemic shut everybody down.
Shut everything down.
That's right.
I decided, what am I going to do with this time, and how am I going to utilize it to my benefit? So in March, I started writing a book, and I ended up working with an editor. Her name is Nelsa Crosby.
Nelsa Crosby.
And she has a program where she helps writers write. That's the name of her program. So I would meet with her twice a week just because I wanted to be hands-on.
Right.
And I wasn't an author, you know, but I knew my story and I knew how to tell it. But I just wanted the proper way to formulate the book. So what I ended up doing is taking 2 hours a week with her. So twice a week I would meet with her for 2 hours. And she basically, one of the biggest lessons I learned about writing a book is don't tell it, show them. So when you're writing a story, you know, you want to write the details and you want to bring your reader into your book so they can actually feel like they're actually walking through that scene.
Right.
Or, you know, like it's like you go watch a movie and you can feel the characters. And that's basically one of the best things I learned writing this book was how to bring my reader into the book and bring them into the story, and how to write a sentence with more details just so you can kind of feel like, you know, for example, you saying, you know, I was outside and the sun was beating against the sidewalk.
Right.
You know, things like that.
All right, so I want to just go back to the 2 hours per week or per day?
It was 2 hours per week.
All right, so you
Twice a week.
Twice a week. All right, so that's 4 hours. Just for the people to know, like I said, a lot of people, including myself, you say, and I actually I have like 7 to 8 chapters on one of my books. And it's called Man Up. But for the people that's like myself, that's, you know, even I met Angela Yee one time. She's like, I've been writing the book for forever. So that's why I asked you, like, what made you want to write it, and obviously how long it took. Your answer was quite, a lot of people don't really just write books in 1 year. But what I want to go back to is, you said 2 hours twice a week. So that's 4 hours. Obviously, you do other things. So you was working a full schedule, still took time out of your time to get this thing done because it's something that you wanted to do.
Right.
All right, so people, we got to be...
Basically, I work for a Fortune 500 company in a law firm during the day. I do real estate after 5, and I still made time to put in for this book. And what it boils down to, like I said earlier, you hear a lot of people do a lot of things that take a long time and it never gets done. I think most of the time, people already have the book completed. They won't pull the trigger because they're scared that it's not going to be right, it's not going to be this,
it's not going to be perfect, or it's going to be criticized.
So I think you need criticism in order to become better at who you are.
Okay.
So my thing is, if you have the book, if you started writing it, write the book. It's okay to speak to a couple of people so they can help you perfect the book, and speak to other authors and they can give you certain guidance and how to, like if you got like brain freeze and things like that, you know, it's like, just look at the book like it's a beginning, a middle, and an end. So formulate your beginning, your middle, and your end, and just let it go. Okay. I think everything we do in life, we hold our life up because we won't let it go. It's that old saying where don't put off something that you can do today for tomorrow. So if you got 8 chapters, put an ending to it and let the book drop.
And let it drop, yeah.
Then just perfect what you're missing, because once you start reading the book and then other people read it, they're going to let you know what they feel that you could have did better. And then you take that criticism and don't let that criticism defeat you. Let that criticism make you grow. Right. And one of the reasons that kept me motivated and maybe why I did it so fast was I didn't write the book for me. I wrote the book so I can inspire other people who are disabled to understand that don't limit your life because you're in a wheelchair or you can't, or you're blind, or you have some type of disability. Because one other reality is, even able-bodied people, they're one day away from being disabled.
That's a fact.
So if one of these kids on these bikes, if they fall,
we out here, Harlem.
They might end up disabled. So
that's true.
It's so easy to become disabled that I just encourage, I didn't only write it for people with disabilities, but I also wrote it to let people who are able-bodied understand that, you know, you can be motivated even by somebody who is disabled.
To not be disabled mentally.
Exactly.
And not be, how many chapters, and you have plans for releasing another book?
I actually have 27 chapters in this book. And, no, it's 22 chapters in this book. I actually have 22.
Yeah, we out here live, y'all, Harlem, you know what I mean? We in the building, you know what I mean? Sin, what up, my nigga? You know what I mean? Sin is in the building. We out here, Harlem, like I said, it's unscripted, authentic, that feeling, POPAVIST TV, we out here. So one more again. How many chapters in the book, and do you have plans on releasing another book?
So it's 22 chapters in this book. I'm also speaking about, you know, conceiving a child naturally.
Right.
I had a son when I was 30 years old, and you know, I had him naturally, and that was like a miracle to me from, you know, somebody with a disability.
No question.
And, you know, I explain the details to that in the book, because even though there are certain topics like sex with people with disabilities, there's certain things people don't like talking about or they don't feel comfortable talking about, but I embarked on it in the book because I want people who are disabled to feel comfortable
talking
doing
about
things that they really want to do, and I want people to bring more awareness that we,
no question.
you know, the same way you
I always, as a man, you know, I always figured you see somebody or whatever, you say, damn, I wonder if they, but when you see they have kids, and obviously you know they still could function sexually and they still can participate in all those good things that come with enjoying, you know, the opposite sex, etc. So
one of my dreams was to become a father.
Right.
You know, I see a lot of brothers, you know, they have kids, and you know, for whatever reason, some people may be in their kids' life, some people may not be. One of the things that I wanted to do is be a great father in a wheelchair, so I can inspire my friends and other people
to be good fathers,
to be great fathers, because I feel like that's the foundation for these kids' future.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have a man in your life, I think a lot of mothers, and I definitely I was raised by a single parent, so I think a lot of mothers do a great job, but I think that mother-father balance, because a father brings a certain element and a mother brings a certain element. So one of the things that was powerful for me that I wrote about in this book is my relationship with my son.
Okay.
And you know, that was real important.
So how old is your son? And obviously, I'm sure you're a great dad. You know what I mean? You're inspiring others. So to be right in the household. Me personally, like I said, I had a stepdad. I don't know my pops, but I had a stepdad. Sometimes that message is not well received. As we was talking off camera before we started, I was just saying certain type of messages come to you. The message is not well received if the person doesn't necessarily respect the messenger. You know what I mean? But how was in that goal to be a great dad? How was your relationship with your son?
Me and my son, we talk a lot, and I'm one of those fathers where I feel like it's a two-way street. You have to listen to your kids.
Right.
Because in order for you to give good advice, you got to listen, and you have to take it from their perspective. And I also have to take in consideration that he's 22 years old talking to me, and I'm 51 now.
Right, so that's a big age gap.
Me and him talk about a lot is, you know, I always say to my son, and he's a junior, so I'm like, Jeff, you know, you have to understand, every decision you make, there are consequences.
Right.
I said, and one of the things that I always bring home to him is, the day I got shot, my mother asked me to come straight home and wait for a couch to be delivered. I didn't come home. I went to my friend's house. We were supposed to go ride bikes. He ended up showing me the gun. I thought the gun was fake. We started playing with the gun. I ended up getting shot. And I always tell him this story because I want him to understand the consequences that every decision makes. That when people make bad decisions, there's consequences
behind it.
You know, a lot of people, you know, and I just feel like you know, it's something that we all have to instill in our kids to keep them from being incarcerated, keep them from ending up disabled,
Right.
keep them just on the straight and narrow, and prevent us from losing our kids in the street. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so y'all, you say he's 22. So what is he into? Is he into sports? Is he a daredevil like you? Flying a plane to me, it's not really a daredevil like just doing some dumb shit because it's safety, it's protocol, it's certificates. But to me, in my book, that's like bungee jumping. I don't know if I would bungee jump. It might be on the bucket list, but like, what's some of his activity? What's some of the things that y'all do together?
My son loves to cook, and I love to cook.
Okay.
I love to dance. I love to dance. He's a party animal like me, and my son, he's real outgoing. He likes being out and about.
Right.
You know, I always wanted him to be a lawyer, you know, and study law the way I did.
Right. I seen that in the interview. Yep.
He went to John Jay College also.
Oh, okay.
Where I graduated from.
Following your footsteps.
And you know, but the thing is, we sat down one day and talked, and he brought something to my attention. He's like, Dad, you have your life and you well accomplished. He said,
but sorry about that, y'all. We live action. Got the bikes and all that. You know what I mean? This block is notorious for bike riding. You know what I mean? Carton just came home like last year. Rest in peace, June Black. A couple other legendary bike people come out of this block right here. 142nd, my block. But back to live action, POPAVIST TV. We out here with my guy Jay Williams, aka, you know what I mean, Jay Lorenzo. So we gonna conclude with, you know what I mean. Last time I told y'all I seen. Let's get a close up on these joints right here. You know what I mean? And actually, these the colors that I want right here, just because they got the purple and gold. All right, and that's what he was talking about. Don't count the days, make the days count. That's super
Exactly.
fly. So when you lacing up your joints, you know what I mean? What made you want to put motivational, like, you know what I mean?
So what happened is, the reason why I wanted to make some sneakers is because I can't walk. I wanted something that was related to walking. And because I know regardless of what your life is, everybody has a story.
Right.
And when you wake up in the morning, if you're home alone or if you don't have somebody in your life to motivate you, I wanted when you put your sneakers on and you lace them up, your day starts with a motivational quote, because I feel like if you think positive, then your day will be positive.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So now you matching with the sneakers and the sweater. I see in the other interview that you actually got the clothes and stuff to show the people a little bit. You know what I mean?
I got it on the back
okay.
too.
So this what you, because I couldn't see it on the video when you were speaking of the wheelchair joint. So that's fly right
So
there.
what I did, I put the wheelchair logo in all of them to represent everybody that's in a wheelchair.
Have you got sponsors? Are you looking to be like a voice, or do you see that big, or is like?
I want to be the voice for everybody disabled. Anybody that's in a wheelchair. If you know anybody in a wheelchair, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm on the Instagram, Shoes by Jay Lorenzo. And if somebody in your family find themselves disabled or get in an accident, I have no problem showing up wherever they are, just to motivate them to get them back on their feet. Try to get their mind right and take them out that dark lane.
Are the only place they can order, where can we order? Just on the Instagram, or is it actually a website? Or you got plans for having them in store? Are they already in stores?
I'm basically, the sneakers is made out in Italy. They handmade. So if you go on my Shoes by Jay Lorenzo Instagram, the links to the sneakers is up there. You can go to order them, and they'll ship them directly to your house 10 to 12 days.
Now, when you say they made in Italy, is it size like the Louis and the Gucci type joints, so they true to size?
They true to size.
So if I'm 10 and a half, then I'm 10 and a half when I'm ordering them. All right, people, so y'all can see those are the joints I'm gonna get right there, the purple and gold. You know what I mean? Who real quick, who you think gonna win the NBA championship this year?
I ain't even sure right now.
I think it's gonna be LeBron. And you do know, because
LeBron go hard. So I mean,
He got the colors on,
That's
but now Brooklyn got KD, Kyrie, and James Harden.
I'm still going with LeBron.
All right, so we Brooklyn. So we was talking off camera, like I said. So he said he follows sports, but not really. So I got to put him on because the channel we talk sports, hip hop, interviews, motivations, and Popavisms 101. I actually got the Lakers with those colors in Brooklyn because they got the talent now to meet in the finals. And I got LeBron and them squeaking it out as well. 7-game series, so we'll see. You know what I mean? Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Popavist, Popavist TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic. That feeling, like he said, when he was the first-time father, that's that feeling I talk about on the channel. Hitting the 4-pick, you know what I mean? Getting married, closing the deal. Those are that feelings when I talk about on the channel. That feeling is your boy Jay Williams, Harlem Stand Up. We appreciate your time, man. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Love is love. You already.